Welcome back to the Go Deeper podcast. Today's podcast is for any really entrepreneur or just anybody starting out in any type of just business journey of any capacity. And we're just reflecting back on maybe what are some of the things that we wish we would have done more of? What are some of the things we wish we would have not done? And what are maybe some new ideas in just today's world that we would maybe even implement now that we're older and wiser and that the world's a little bit different? So this is really for anybody, like I would say zero, birthing your infancy of being an entrepreneur, to maybe year 5, or maybe you're struggling and you just need to hear this right now. And Stephen and I are just going to be very open, candor back and forth about, some things we wish we would have done.
Sure.
Some things we would do again, maybe more intensely, knowing what we know now. Mm-hmm. And then maybe how have we even pivoted and kept ourselves relative 20 years into the business versus letting our business die off. So go ahead. You can kick this.
The first thing off the top of my mind that I would have done is, and the crazy part is I'd done this in the club days before anybody was doing it. I used to film every night, and then I would be the first to post the photos the next day myself on the website, if you remember.
And people would get online like
look for their photos. And we had filmed a bunch of videos back in the day, and it wasn't the type of atmosphere I probably would have wanted to film, but sometimes we would film us going out. Yeah.
Praise God.
Yeah, we would film us going out, and people loved the videos. And I got away from that from a long time of fear of judgment, I think. And because that put a lot of judgment on me back then, if you remember, Amber.
Yeah.
Just the environment and everything like that. So I wish I would have years ago continued to film in the evolvement of super fitness, of me and you, of real estate, of all the cool.
That's something now we say about once a week, that we missed an opportunity to really document a lot more in our life.
Well, I'll tell you why I say that. Nothing to do with financials.
No.
I say that when I watched the Kanye West documentary, and I saw him. He was asked in the documentary, somebody was like, why are you filming this? Because he said, he looks directly in the camera and he says, because I'm filming my life, because I'm going to need this footage because I will be famous, or something to that words. Not that me and you are trying to be famous. I just think it's a cool story to paint a picture of, like, if I would have said 20 years ago, I'm going to become one of the biggest gym equipment dealers, when I did see the vision, didn't know how the hell I was going to do it or paint the picture, I think that would have been a cool moment to look back on. Because when I get little things now that are popping up 9 to 15 years ago, and I look at that memory on Facebook and like, wow, look, Amber, look how far we've come.
I think there's a beauty in that.
Mm-hmm.
There's also so much more what I would consider value in capturing in the moment.
Sure, I agree.
I think it's one thing to like sit here on the podcast and like relive these moments. Mm-hmm. They still trigger us like we were in them.
Sure.
It's another thing to like capture yourself in them, walking through the relative emotions that you're facing, walking through the hardship, walking through the success, and being able to reflect back on it, I think is something that's just more impactful.
Or even if we
now, I mean, we do the podcast, we film our content, but it's the real life, everyday stuff that really resonates with people.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the more you capture the real life, everyday behind the scenes of not what's my highlight reel, but what am I really struggling with?
Well, even if we would have filmed some of the bad or some of the struggle.
That's what I'm saying.
I think people relate more with the struggle than the highlight reel.
Yeah.
Because people don't realize everyone goes through the struggle. I don't care who you watch online. You know as well as I do, they go through the struggle. Don't think the beautiful girl that you see on Instagram doesn't feel a certain way certain days about herself, or that Amber don't feel certain ways, or Amber's not having a good day every day, or that our relationship's perfect.
There's life that happens.
Right.
And I think the more transparent that, we can be, and God can be blessing us over here, but spiritual warfare is real, and like things attack you over here. Mm-hmm. And that's one thing I don't think we're transparent enough about, is we can be living the glory days to the outside world. Even in our life right now, there's a lot of stuff happening that I'm not putting energy into because I just believe it's a spiritual attack on us. Eventually, maybe we'll dive into it. But this is the reality. that whenever you're being blessed over here, you're going to be attacked over here.
Mm-hmm.
And there's many seasons of our life where we were being in attack mode, but it was really setting us up for our blessings.
Mm-hmm.
But in the moment, we were being attacked. So being able to be transparent and saying, like, this is what it really looked like to build Super Fitness. This is what it really looked like to build the A-Team. This is what was really happening is eye-opening. But what was really happening is what resonates with people.
Mm-hmm. But going back to the question you asked me, I also wish that I knew how much it would have paid to pay a mentor that was above me or leagues above me in business to really pick their brain. Because what I've learned now, time is not free. And so I used to even ask you, like, why would you pay that person $1,000? Remember when I would ask you this?
Yeah, I've had coaches for years, and that's one thing you've always like questioned.
I didn't understand.
Is like, why are you paying somebody?
And hear me out. But then if I really look back over the past 20 some years, it's no different than paying a personal trainer. So right now for me, I know the body as good as anyone, but maybe I don't want to think about it when I walk in the gym after a long day of work. So I'm like, Amber, you train me. You're my trainer, and I'll pay you to do it.
And what's and you may not come up with this word, but what's the real reason why you pay a trainer or you pay a coach?
Sometimes I think that you just need that secondary approval.
Accountability. I don't think it's approval. I think it's accountability.
Yeah, but I was going to say that, like, if you said a trainer, I was going to say accountability. A coach, maybe you run an idea by them and then you get their approval, if that makes sense, of like.
So I'll tell you what coaching has done for me, because I've done it at a very
And you also
high level,
coach.
and I also coach people. Coaching is a discipline. It's a place where you go to receive accountability.
Okay.
You may know what to do, but are you doing it?
Right.
Me and you have access to gym equipment everywhere. But our workouts look a lot different than working out with a trainer.
Sure.
And would we skip a workout if we didn't have a time that we had to be there? Sure. Maybe not you, but I would. Like, to me, coaching and personal training is accountability.
Yeah.
But it also takes the knowledge that somebody has taken 20 years to get and condenses it. And it takes the roadmap of, like, I guarantee you, I could take a brand new agent, train them 1 hour a week, and make them a top producer within probably 6 months. Mm-hmm. Where if they tried to figure that out on their own, it's probably going to take them 5 to 6 years.
Do you think
longer?
Do you think I fast track gym owners?
1,000%.
And so,
like, you're coaching them and providing them value without charging them, which is a whole nother conversation to have.
It's another whole conversation, but I do it from the heart, and especially the ones that I build the gyms for, because I know for a fact I can fast track them and set them up for success, or even. This happens often. Oh, Steven, I'm going to charge X amount. I'm like, whoa. No. This is way too cheap. Or sometimes I tell them it's too expensive. This is what you need to do.
You just coached in California, you were able to probably double their income.
Absolutely.
From one small coaching moment.
They wanted to go way cheaper.
What would they have, looking back, what would they have paid you for that knowledge?
A lot.
And that's what I say to myself. If you have the right coach, the information that they give you should probably 10 times the cost that they charge you, if they're the right coach. The same thing goes back, and this is not something I'd written down. The right people in your business will pay your business back tenfold too.
Absolutely.
Having the right hire with a salesperson, operational, leverage people will bring your business back a value that's tenfold of what their cost is. So that's another point I think I would like to add before I go into the leverage. What keeps you from having a coach now? This is me poking you and holding you accountable. Why do you not have a business coach of some capacity?
Oh, me.
Or just like a mentor that you pay that keeps you on track. I think that would really be good for you.
Well, hear me out on something. Thank God I do business with so many high-level professionals that I truly talk to a lot of them almost on the daily basis. I think
you get value poured into you. I think you see the value in having a trainer health-wise. I would love for you in the next decade of your life to see like a personal mentor that pours
I'm,
into you.
Amber, I'm not
in
at
some
all saying you're
capacity.
wrong, and I'm not at all saying that I know everything.
We're going to do a future podcast in like a year, and he's going to get I would love to see like what it does for your life, because I think it's one thing a lot of business owners lack, especially in a more open business like you have. Like in the real estate world, coaches are a normal thing.
Sure.
In a business entrepreneur world, they're out there,
Hear
but
me
you
out
got
on
to plug
something.
into them and seek
But
them.
I'm able, thank goodness, to pick a lot of very big name people's brain pretty much anytime I want to. And if I need that question or whatever, now is it giving me, I've always felt like I had that accountability already just instilled in me.
I think you have self accountability,
Yeah.
but I think I would love to see you go from point A to point B with more intention and purpose.
Okay.
I think you put your head down and grind. I
Yep.
think there's ways that you could scale yourself differently.
And let me say this on camera. I couldn't agree with you more. And I truly think that I could double, triple, quadruple the business.
I don't think that. That's not why I'm telling you.
No, I know.
I'm saying just life in general.
Life in general. But all I'm saying is to you, you got to remember something. And I've said this, I think, on podcasts before. I still want to be the husband.
No.
I still want to be the father.
I'm saying there's things that you could do inside of those things
No,
that would
I know.
allow you to do more of that.
I know.
Okay.
And that's all I'm saying by this.
One thing looking back that I think we did well, maybe not right at first, but if you're in your growing years, you cannot expect your life to be in balance. There are no 40-hour work weeks. It needs to be a wild obsession the first
If you want to be great.
5 to 10 years.
If you want to be great.
Well, I think in today's world, even as a real estate agent, even to survive,
Yeah, true.
it's more than 40
On
hours
call
right now.
24/7.
Yeah. You have to give it your all.
Well, hang on. We were instilled, especially mine and your generation, in
Yeah.
that 40-hour work week. There is no such thing, especially as an entrepreneur, as a 40-hour work week. Guys, I wish it was. I wish we could go work 9 to 5 or whatever, but my phone rings off the hook. She'll tell you. She's rode a lot in the car with me lately for an hour or 2 hours.
and I don't talk to him the whole time.
And
He's on
she's
his
like,
phone.
golly, the phone, I'm on the phone. It rang 4 times while I'm on the phone. I get off the phone. I still got to make 4 phone calls back. So it like for 2 hours straight, I'm on the phone. When I went to see Joe, Manny's in the back. Manny's like, another call, Dad. I'm like 2.5 hour drive on the phone almost the whole way. I still put in the work. I still put in the reps. It is what it is.
You're
And
in the messy middle right now. And I would love to segue in. I mentioned it before. Leverage becomes everything.
sure, I get it.
It's not your strong suit. It was forced to be mine when I was starting to have kids. I knew I could not work at the level I was working at and still be a mother. And I knew I had to leverage myself.
And I have been doing much better by letting Bryce take some of the reins of the stuff that I can't do, of like letting him, Bryce, you go post this first. You do this. Sometimes, hear me out, I can make a story post and sell a piece within 5 minutes. But let me tell you what that's going to happen. I'm going to have 75
It's a domino effect.
75 inboxes. And then that's 75 different people I need to respond to. And some of them are not even interested in the equipment. They're just let's just say they just want to inquire or how much a shipping quote would be. They have no interest in buying the equipment. They just want to be, I don't know if you call it nosy or what, which is totally fine. And I can sell the equipment, but that's a lot of work.
Well, there's shoppers and there's buyers.
Right.
And you really, at your level of expertise, need to only be working with buyers.
Yeah.
You know, as I've grown and scaled my business, when I remember it was 2014. It was like the world hit the fans. We were getting ready to get married. I sold 65 houses, but I let my business take over my life. You're almost there right now, being transparent with you. And from that moment forward, I said, every quarter I'm going to sit down, because even though your business is successful, there's a diminishing value to money where it starts to steal your joy and your energy. And that's every time I start to feel that, I say, what is it I need to leverage? Because you're going to burn yourself in the ground, and your relationships are going to start to suffer. Your health's going to start to suffer. Your sleep's going to start to suffer, everything. And it's not worth it. And those are the moments you need to like swallow your pride, humble yourself, and say, I need to leverage. I need to let something off my plate. So every quarter, even Mary Carol and I now still sit down and we say, like, what is it that I need to take off my plate to grow to the next level? Because what happens is you get stuck in this identity of doing the things you've always done because it's always gotten you what you've always gotten. And at one point in time, what it was getting you was security. But after a while, the things that used to bring you joy start to no longer bring you joy, and they start to burn you out. And you have to be very real and transparent with yourself and very self-aware and say, what is it that I'm doing throughout the day that like brings me joy and brings me energy? And what is it I'm doing that no longer is? And anytime your relationships start to suffer, or anytime your joy starts to suffer and the everyday hustle of the business, you have to ask yourself, what is it I need to leverage? And then you need to find the right people to leverage it.
Sure.
Because otherwise your business is actually going to start to go down, because your level of energy is going to go down. And what used to like keep you operating up here is going to start making you operating down here. And it's not worth it. So the quicker that you can leverage and find the right people to fill those gaps, the more, and it's not necessarily scaling your business, it's life enjoyment you get back.
No. I think so many people, though, they get one little hurdle and they just quit.
Yeah.
Versus if they just continue going, because it is hard in the grind. You know this because you saw 1,000 roadblocks that I hit.
It's hard when you get out of the grind.
All right,
Life's hard. So
do you
get over
remember
it.
Craigslist was the greatest thing?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, do you remember I would put all the work in, all the hours, and I'd wake up and all my ads would be down?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, imagine.
And at the time, like Facebook Marketplace was birthing.
No. It hadn't even started yet.
Right.
So, but hear me out.
Yeah.
We wake up tomorrow and there's no socials.
That would derail a lot of people.
That would derail a lot of influencers and a lot of people because,
It's the only way they've known how to do business.
But hear me out. If there was no socials for anyone, that means no gym equipment companies on social. Could Steven, how many people have Steven's number?
A lot of people.
How many people know how to get my equipment?
Yeah.
A lot. Would Steven be okay for a little while till we figured something out?
Yeah.
Yes. But there's a lot of businesses that can't survive without it.
Well, I think there's so many businesses that throw their eggs all in one avenue of lead generation.
Sure.
Like so many agents buy leads, but they don't build a database.
Right.
They don't build a cultural place that have values and high standards that people want to come to.
Right.
They buy leads. I'm here to tell you it's much harder to convert people that don't know you, that don't like you, that don't trust you because you're a stranger, versus doing business with people that already like, know, and trust you.
Tell them I've never bought a Google ad.
You've never bought a Google ad.
Not $1.
But I mean, we've also built our businesses on deep-rooted relationships and not paid leads.
Some people that I sold a $300 bike to literally 15 plus years ago are now the bigger gym owner. They bought the bike that transitioned to the thing. I don't always worry about making money off of a single item. I worry about that relationship. Certain items we hardly, you know this, by the time I really pay labor, we make no money on.
No, but you've invested in yourself in a relationship that will pay you back tenfold forever.
When somebody comes in to the warehouse and they meet me and I treat them with kindness, whether it's a $5 sale or, how much ever, and that's that relationship that they're then going to referral. We had a woman walk in the other day for a rower and she was like, my girlfriend bought one from you years ago and she told me to come see you. And she bought a used rower back then. It was still working great. And she was so thankful. This woman, we didn't make much money off this rower, but that was a referral. She told me, I don't even know who, from years ago. That is the type of business I want to run. Because
that's a legacy business. Right.
Well, because hear me out. You know this. That single item person might know the gym owner in Idaho, in Ohio, wherever.
It's happened before.
It's happened.
Sometimes my lowest expensive homes have led me to some of the highest long-term investor clients.
Absolutely.
That I've done more volume with than like the one luxury house that I've sold.
People get on their high horse of not wanting to, let's just say somebody called you and says, Amber, I got this home. I know you only do luxury. No,
I sell everything anywhere. And one of my pet peeves is a new agent who wants to so stigmatize their brand and only selling nice luxury homes. I'm here to tell you, in a small area like this, you have to be willing and capable and have the right demeanor to sell everything. I have a $7,000 lot for sale right now in Southern Alamance for anybody that's looking. And I've also sold $1 million houses and businesses and
millions.
Commercial, properties. I'm here to just help people.
Right.
I don't care how much you have to, this is something I wish I knew it quickly. I wish I would have known it sooner. You have to put the people before the profit.
Oh, I agree.
And there's so many new agents, new entrepreneurs that are counting their dollars before their dollars. And they're putting their profit in what they could make before their purpose. And you have to serve people first and abundantly before you even ever focus on your profit. Yes, you need to be a good steward of your money, but there's not going to be any money to pay attention to and steward if you're not putting people first.
Well, you know why we're savage? Because we really started business in the hardest time to start business. So I'll date this back.
Worst economy ever.
I'm going to go back a few years ago to one of our local branches of real estate. Had like 500 agents, I believe. And the crazy part about that is you used to tell like
300, almost 400.
Okay, 3 to almost 400. You were telling me like everybody just thinks they can just put a sign in the ground now and things were selling like this for 30 grand over ask price, 40,000.
And they were for a brief moment in time.
And I kept telling Amber, I was like, you're going to see all these agents go away. And this is not talking about anyone in particular. This is not singling out anyone. And I was seeing the same thing as why we were laughing about this with gym equipment. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry was selling gym equipment. I saw it everywhere on Facebook Marketplace, on Craigslist, on social media. Another gym equipment companies follow me. Another gym equipment. I'm like, who the hell are these people? Things got hard. All these real estate agents fell off like flies in a lot of the gym equipment. I was doing this shit when it wasn't cool. Amber was selling real estate in early 2000s.
When there was only short sales and foreclosures. What is the context to this? All ships rise in a high tide.
Right.
It's when the tide comes back is when you really see people's true character and really their strength of their business. Mm-hmm. We've always been like natural born killers. Mm-hmm. Some of it's our childhood trauma has conditioned us to be that way. Some of it's the markets that we started out in is when challenging times come, we rise to the occasion. Mm-hmm. And right now is one of those occasions.
Yeah,
if you're a business owner, you need to rise to the occasion and be savage AF.
You go harder.
You go harder right now. A lot of people are like pulling back. This is when I invest more in my business, invest more in my team, invest more in myself. It's when I work harder. It's when I put in more hours. It's when I pay attention to more details. It's when I touch people more. It's when I pour into my database. It's when, I wrote down one thing on here. One of the biggest things you can do when you start to be successful is instead of living on the max capacity of the profit that you're making, is you need to still live on the same amount of money that you lived on when you're struggling, mm-hmm. and take the money you're profiting and put it back into your business. Because that's what most people are not willing to do because their pride and their ego gets in the way. And when they start making $100,000 a year or $200,000 or $500,000 or $1 million, they start living that $1 million lifestyle and they're buying worldly things, cars, houses, purses, handbags. Put that money back into your business first. Mm-hmm. Pay off your debts and then go live that big life.
Sure.
When you can afford it. But I promise you, your business will bleed itself dry in times like this if you have not spent your money wisely, but also poured back into your business when you need to. So don't live out of your business, pour back into your business.
Well, I don't think people just realize like people like us, you said we're killers, savage killers, whatever, because we've been through the hard.
Yeah.
You have watched me put it all out there.
Yep.
With zero plan B.
Yeah.
But with that comes a sense of like, okay, Steven, got to go grind. And the crazy part is this was just a few months ago. I was like, in my mind, and we were completely fine. Let
me paraphrase this before you say this.
Yep.
We have conditioned ourselves that if we don't have that environment that we're about to describe around you, we create it. Because we thrive in that setting.
I guess. Yeah. So I literally this year put more out than I've ever put out. While everybody's talking about the economy so bad, businesses are going out of business everywhere, which in the right side of a person's brain, you'll start hearing all these little things. And the left side of my brain, I know what to do because I've done it year after year.
Triggers you over here. We have exponentially grown in moments like this.
Yeah. So it didn't scare me, but I had told my wife, I'm like, listen, you are going to check bank accounts and they're going to look like non-existent. And because I knew I had literally spent more than what was in that accounts.
I knew you had been spending more because I was like,
yeah, she kept telling me, like, slow
I'm the
your
one
roll.
that, like, pays attention to.
Yeah, she's like, slow
you
your
get
roll.
Going busy, and I'm like, hello.
But
we have this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this.
But I
trusted you.
Yeah.
And I believed in you.
And I told you there's a method to the madness.
And I already knew. And I've seen you do it.
Mm-hmm.
So
year
whenever
after
you tell
year.
me these crazy ideas, I trust and believe in you, and I know it's going to happen. But I also know you're about to be emotionally triggered. And here we go.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have to be the strong one. And I'm just going to have to put my down and pour into you.
Well, there's a part of
fear will take over.
There's a part of business that while I'm waiting and I have put the money out and I'm waiting on the equipment, there's a lag. And there's that time that I don't have the inventory, so I can't advertise it. And I'm totally put it all out there financially. And then that's when you just have to entrust that I have nurtured all these clients. I have put the work in. I have grinded my ass off that phone call is going to ring. And this is what I learned in business. I used to tell you this. For anybody watching, you are one call away from that biggest call of your life. You are one call away from that biggest client of your life. And one person can change the trajectory of your whole life. One, we have both had people come into our life. I mean, instrumental people.
Yeah.
Whether it be personally or business-wise or business that turned to lifelong friendships. And this is where I tell people all the time, I'm like, listen, you need to keep putting it out there or whatever's on your heart for the long. I know for a fact that when I put it all out there the way I do, yeah, it's scary for me, but I'm helping so many people. And so many people, then they're so thankful. And I've learned this. There is people that are like, oh man, they're not thankful for me, even though they're doing business with me. They think I could have saved $300 doing it over here. I just saved you 6 months of time.
What is that worth?
What is that worth?
In my mind, this just came through. You have to trust and believe in yourself in those moments, but you do so because you've created the demand, but you also have the database. And when you have those two key ingredients, business flows exponentially. You have the database of people that will buy it. And when you're tapped into the knowledge that these pieces are in demand, and all of a sudden you solve a solution of the supply.
Correct.
You've created a little math equation that just pours into one another, and supply and demand are just a universal law.
Right.
You know the demand. You have the database that's telling you this is what we're looking for. Mm-hmm. When you can supply the supply, especially in a little niche field, you have clients for life.
So you've seen this time and time again because you've been there. Even yesterday, a gym owner that I built the gym for comes and he's buying literally one thing and he left with several things. And he said, Stephen, what do you suggest I put in?
Yeah.
I didn't try to sell him anything.
No, but you know what's in hot demand in other places.
So I just told him, I said,
people.
I put this in my new lower body glute room. And there's women on it all day. If you're trying to increase your women, I suggest this, this, and this.
Right.
He bought 2 of the 3. Mm-hmm. So my point is, by saying that, if you have the database and you have the trust within your clients, the cost of the equipment's irrelevant to them if that is going to 3, 4, 5x return them.
Yeah.
So I always tell people, I'm like, listen, don't look at the cost, look at the return.
But somebody that's not in the know, and this is why if you're a consumer, it is going to, or a consumer or a business owner, like in Stephen's setting, it pays to know somebody that's in the know.
Right.
Because that's information you just can't buy.
And
it's real-time information that can instrumentally change your business.
Absolutely. And this is where I always tell people, matters. I'm free in a sense to you if you're loyal and doing business with me. Because at the end of the day, I'm not safeguarding any information. I'm an open book. when you're buying the equipment from me, and I'm only selling you this for your best interest. So if I called somebody tomorrow and said, hey, buy this $10,000 piece, the
But it
profit,
could honestly grow your gym
right?
revenue $10,000
Do
a
you
month.
remember
You're
when
crazy
hip
not
thrust came
to.
out?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I've sold thousands.
Thousands.
Okay. But I remember telling several gym owners, and they'd be like, oh, she can just do the Smith machine.
Yeah, it's way different.
Now, hear me out on something. You as a woman, you got to, first of all, you had a C-section.
Yeah.
You got to put
I
the
cannot
bar.
do that.
Okay. You got to set up a bench. You got to put plates. And it's kind of hard. And then if the gym only has one Smith machine, it's a little difficult and you might not want to do it. And then is the Smith machine in the middle of the
Yeah,
play?
where is it at?
Where's
the
it at?
location of it?
Yeah,
Is
but
there a mirror in front of it?
do you want to show off?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Some do, some don't.
I told gym owners, I'm like, hey, you need to put this piece because why? I was one of the first in the United States with the hip thrust. I saw so many women doing it at my gym and dudes too, that I'm like, this is going to be hidden. It's not that expensive. And then I started telling my clients and they're like, oh, Stephen, I'll try one. It's not that expensive. Bam, bam, bam. So, selling a shit ton a month. My point is by that, now if I meet a gym owner who knows me and I'm like, you got a hip thrust? No. I'm like, are you kidding me?
That's like a key essential piece of gym equipment in most gyms around the world nowadays.
But you'd be surprised how many I still meet that don't have one.
Yeah.
And the still same old school philosophy.
It's almost like not having a bicep curl.
Right.
Or not having a leg press.
Or not having dumbbells.
A Smith machine, or not having dumbbells. In today's world, it's like a staple.
Right. And so if I meet somebody, I'm like, okay, I know you came here to get this, but you're
really
leaving
need
with this.
Yeah.
Why? I'm like, because I've told you for the past 5 years to get it.
Yeah.
And now if the proof ain't out there, because that girl's going to tag you on your social media and generate business for free for you for a not very expensive piece. There's a reason I'm telling you to do this.
Right.
Because I know, because I've tested it around the world and I've sold enough of them to know what it done for Amber's gym or this gym or that gym. Yeah. That's simple.
2 other things and then we'll wrap up. As a new business owner, I think oftentimes we avoid the hard things. The hard things you need to do first. What you're avoiding is usually what's going to change and impact your business the most. I think a lot of us like to do what's easy or it's the quickest to check off our box, but it doesn't really move your business forward. So I think doing hard things quicker, faster, first, when you have more energy, will actually help you grow your business. And then lastly, I just want us to lean into, in those years of going through the trenches of growing a business and going through the hard times, the mentally challenging times, the physical challenging times, the financially challenging times, the people you have around you are absolutely everything. Mm-hmm. And I would say those years, you need to be the most protective of yourself, the most protective of your mindset. You need to turn off the news. You need to put your head down. You need to work 24/7. When you're not working, you need to be restoring yourself, your physical fitness, your mental health. You need to be listening to things that pour into you and really only having people around you that have either done what you've done or that are just positive influences in your life. And you don't need any snakes in the grass.
Well, that's what I was going to mention.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I just thank God, I feel like I've had several instrumental people from long time with me. So I'm super blessed with that. But then I feel like looking back, there were several people that were snakes in the grass trying to partner with me, they
take advantage of your success.
Even before I was successful,
your potential to be successful.
They knew, they felt, they would tell me how smart I was. Your business is going to do X, Y, and Z. Let me do this, this, and this. And they were not for me. I would have sold my soul to the devil. You've heard me say that. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, I want the person there for me that was with me when I had nothing, if that makes sense. Yeah. That also put in the work, that was willing to put in the work and not even get paid. Because I still have people who work for me like that. And then people wonder now why we're so loyal to those people. Because that guy was with me before I had anything. So I almost frame this like my son coming to work with me at the warehouse. He would come either way because he just wants to be with his dad.
And those are really the people that you want working for you. The people, I think, that are bought into the vision and that align with your values and that see the whole picture, they're committed to that.
Right.
They're not committed to the dollar. And you also have to be that way.
Oh, and
I think that's where a lot of business owners fail in the first few years. They're committed to the dollar. They're not committed to a vision. They don't even have a vision.
well, also, I feel like you need, and this could be another whole podcast. I think we talked about this. You need the person who is almost a brother or sister to you, but that if you're not there is also your protector.
Yeah.
Because
You need the no person, not the yes person.
yeah, because like me and Bryce, we can fight like brothers. But if I was not at that warehouse today or tomorrow or whenever, I know for a fact he's going to take up for me, protect me. He'll joke and talk shit. But, and I'm sure Mary Carroll will do the same.
1,000%. She sometimes protects me more than I protect
Exactly. And Bryce will be the same way
Yeah.
when it comes to employees or comes to a truck driver or something like, hey, is the inventory here from offload? Anybody can just offload the truck, but is everything there that I bought?
Right.
He needs to know. That's how important if a $5,000 piece is missing.
It's huge.
It's huge.
Because those things add up.
And this happens all the time. We have a problem right now that we have wrong boxes of Smith machines. We have all the inventory, but they're box one of two. Well, we have too many of two of two. So my point is, it's like, hey, I didn't even know this till he brought it to my attention. You need that person that's looking after you because there is no possible way that I can watch everything. And so that's where I'm grateful to have. But if you had, let's just say, over inventory you didn't know about, is there somebody within your business trying to steal that inventory? Think about that. Like in my world.
Yeah, those are things you have to worry about that I don't.
Right. And so we have almost 50 surveillance at the warehouse. But at the end of the day, am I watching every minute of that? No. So I need someone there protecting not just me, but our inventory and just making sure everybody's safe. There's a lot of things involved. And I think this is where people like really miss the boat on like, you have to pay well to these people.
Yeah.
And you really have to trust your gut instinct that they're there for you.
There was a post Mary Carroll made earlier, and I may not paraphrase it right, but oftentimes our ego costs us so much more than either joining a real estate team and or paying a coach and or just having somebody in our life that actually pours into us and takes maybe what it would take you 6 to 10 years to create the business, to take it to 1 or 2 years. And there's so much truth in that. So I think if you're a new business owner and if you don't have a good mentor, if you don't have a coach, if you're not plugged into a team, and if you don't have a circle of like 5 strong people that are at, and it's not just business, but they're not where you want to be, like you've already set yourself up for failure.
Sure.
And maybe not failure, but a longer road of struggle. So those are like the 4 things that I would really pay attention to first, especially in a world where, you know, things are a little harder right now. It's a little more challenging. Who you surround yourself with and who's pouring into you can impact you much more than anything else.
I completely agree. I'll end it with this. I've had people before over the past almost 20 years. They tried at first to find all their gym equipment in 100 places. And they think they're saving money versus buying to somebody like me. So they either drove to New York, bought a piece, drove back home, shipped a piece, paid $500-$600 to ship a piece in from wherever, Wisconsin, back to wherever they're at. And you start adding all that up versus just
the time and the money.
Just coming to a guy like me, and let's say I can provide 85% of your equipment needs and ship you 2-3 truckloads and at my cost of shipping, which we spend a lot of money on shipping, so I get better discounts than you can get. How much time did that save you of, if you were working a normal job, taking off work, did you actually save any money? And how much time did you invest?
And what's the quality of the equipment? Has it been refurbished? Has it went through?
So that's what most people, because I could post a picture and then if somebody come, it don't look the same. It's happened to me before. So I always tell people, I'm like, listen, when you're buying from me, we go above and beyond from you. We detail the equipment. Now, if you walked in the warehouse and you bought it as is piece, that's one thing. But that's
you
not,
saw it like it was.
that's not the equipment that I ship out. And so I always tell people, I'm like, listen, time is money. But there is so many things that I think just with life that we have learned. And I hope we give that off with this podcast that are little tricks of the trade and little nuggets for anybody watching this podcast for you to take and share or whatever. But if you like this podcast, please like and subscribe, and we will see you on the next one.